Hi there, my friends. This is May, and here I am with my inner being to talk to you and your inner being. Today I would like to share with you about the principle of polarity, or the law of polarity, which is part of a series of videos we are doing here about the 7 principles of the universe, or the 7 laws of the universe, based on the Hermetic principles of the book, the Kybalion. Okay, and today is the principle of polarity. This principle is, I think, the most famous, one of the most famous, and it's easy to notice how the world is dual. So we have good and bad, night and day, sun and moon, light and darkness. So we have polarities in this world, and even we have yin and yang. That symbol, yin and yang, that you see that there is balance between the dance of darkness and light. Okay, so let me start by reading the principle of polarity according to the Kybalion. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The Kybalion. Amazing, amazing. This principle is one of the hardest ones to understand and even to accept, because the natural is that we want to avoid darkness or pain or anything we don't like. But this principle is really hard to understand because our mind, its nature, is dual. Because mind is a tool of consciousness, so we can create the human experience. We are eternal beings, infinity beings, having a human temporary experience in form. So consciousness is shapeless. We have no form, and we came to this sphere here, to this experience, to have human experience or experience in the form. The consciousness can have experience as a tree, as a flower, as a bird, or any other animal. And consciousness is in everything, even in the particles. Everything is alive, everything has consciousness, because consciousness is everything. So when consciousness comes to this relative world, because there is the absolute realm where everything is one, no duality, only unicity. And then when consciousness comes to this realm, is the relative realm. So the mind starts to create different forms. And when we talk about polarities, we are not only talking about 2, we are talking about many. How come many? Because according to the Kybalion, the polarities has degrees. So you have one extreme and the other extreme, and between you have degrees. So let's imagine darkness and light. There is degrees of darkness and degrees of light. Okay? So the mind is always dual, is always trying to go to the light. Most of the beings are positive oriented and in service to others, and they want to go to the light. We all want our well-being. We all want to be happy and joyful and have prosperity and be happy and be healthy, because we are searching for the light. But according to the Kybalion, there is something that is really amazing for an alchemist to learn, which is the transmutation, mental transmutation. I teach that in my book, in Portuguese, my Portuguese book called The Manual of the Modern Alchemist, how you use mental transmutation to avoid the law of polarities. So instead of going to the left or to the right, you go up. So God is up. And going up, it means going deep inside of you. You don't go to the world of appearances, of form. Oh, I want the light, I don't want the darkness. So you transcend aversion or attachments. So no aversions, no attachment. This is mental transmutation, okay? And how to transmute? It's when you remember your essence. It's when you remember that you are an eternal being. You are consciousness. You will only be attached or have aversion if you forget that you are consciousness and you start to identify only with the form, only with the shape. For example, this is a temporary state. I am May Andrade now, but this is only an avatar, a character that my infinity being is play in this part of life. It's my part here in life, but the true self that I am is consciousness, and it doesn't go away when the body goes away or when the body is sleeping. I still remain. We still remain. So when we do mental transmutation, is by visualizing, is by remembering that our essence is spirit, is consciousness, and there is nothing in earth, in this physical form, that will harm us. Because when we have aversions or attachment, we are identifying only with our character. But consciousness is open all the time. It doesn't have any attachment or aversions. So this is how the law of polarity really works for me. Understanding that we live in a diversity world, and it's normal for the human mind to have its preferences, but the most important is to know why the mind has those preferences, and to keep your heart open to whatever life brings to you. Because if you keep in mind that I only want this to happen and I am really afraid that the other thing happen, and your heart will be always closed with fear that which you don't prefer will happen, and so you will not be free. As consciousness, you are free. So to transcend the law of polarities is just appreciate that the other forms and understand that everything is the way it is. And another example that I really like is an example by abrahamhicks. Imagine you are in a buffet and you have your empty plate and there is plenty of food, so many types of food. You can choose whatever you want. It's there. It's offered, it's free. You already paid for any food you want to eat. And so you go and you choose what you want, what you prefer, you put in your plate. What you don't prefer, you just live there. Other people will have it. But if you go to a buffet and you say, oh, here's broccoli, I hate broccoli, please take this out of here, out of my face. No one's gonna eat broccoli because I don't like broccoli. You don't do that. So life is kind of like this. There is some experiences that you don't prefer, but other people will prefer. So this is law of polarity. And also another huge insight I had with this law is about the degrees. There will always be degrees of prosperity, for example. There will always be people with more money than the other, but it doesn't mean that you are poor. It doesn't mean that. There is, oh my gosh. There is people with less money than you always. So anytime your mind keeps telling you, oh, I don't have money for this or that, I'm poor, and you just have to think about the law of polarities and understand that in a degree, yes, you might be, you might have less money than someone else, but you also have a lot more than other people. And go help someone, you're gonna feel prosperous, you know. And it's not about comparing, but it's about realizing where you are in the scale, in the degree, and we always have something to be grateful for, and we can move in the scale. And the most important thing is not only moving in the scale of polarities, going towards the light, but for me the most important thing is enlightenment, is transcend both. And because God is above good and evil and above duality, God is more than polarities. The law of polarities is only to organize the world we are living now, having a human temporary experience. But as we are, we don't need any laws of the universe because we know who we are. But as long as we are here and we are recovering our memory of our true nature, and many people really forgot totally about who they are, and those laws the universe established to organize things and to have us a safe experience here. Okay, well, that's the law of polarities, and I hope that was useful for you. And I know there is a lot more about the law of polarities, and I really recommend that you read the Kybalion. It's going to explain a lot better than me. Okay, I just wanted to share some simple tips, the ways that I use the law of polarity in my day-to-day life. But the most important point here is to transcend attachment and aversion. And if you transcend that by recognizing that it's all going to pass anyway, and who we are, our true nature, is going to last forever. It's impossible to lose in this game because we are consciousness, and consciousness cannot lose anything because it's not attached or in danger. Nowhere, anywhere, and never. Okay, like if you like, and just hit the bell notification for the next videos. And if you like, also leave a comment to let me know if you're enjoying this series. Bye bye.